this movie's called Gentlemen Broncos, and it's with like a 16-year-old kid, and he has an idea for a story. So he goes to a writer's camp to meet his favorite writer, and that writer writes science fiction. And so he goes there to like hear tips and stuff. This is like the only part of the movie that made me laugh. He's naming off ways so like your guys, like your characters can have like better like names. So he reads off like it says to add these words like ominous, and then like anus, and that's the only part of the movie that made me laugh because he has like such a weird voice, and when he said anus, it just made me laugh. And so he writes this story called Yeast Lords, which the story is so weird. So he writes it, and then he enters it into this writing competition, and the sci-fi writer takes his idea for it because the sci-fi writer is not writing any good novels, and his publisher tells him this. So in a fit of rage, he throws off all of the writing competition books, then he picks up the one that the main character wrote, and so he reads through it and then basically copies his whole entire idea. And he just changes the names to the characters, but he leaves the story completely, like, the same. At the same time, the main character met these two people, and it was the Mexican dude in Napoleon Dynamite, his like partner wrestler in Napoleon Dynamite, and he was the most annoying character. And Lonnie writes, like, I mean, he films stuff, so he, like, supposedly in his career he's filmed 86 things, but, like, it turns out that, like, 70 films were only trailers. And so, dude, this is just awful. So he, at the same time, it's like a three-way, like, thing. So, the main character is struggling with his life. The sci-fi writer is taking the main character's idea. And then Lonnie and this other chick, I forgot her name, I think her name is Sarah or something, tells Lonnie that he should film the idea that the main character has. This movie just goes everywhere. This movie is awful. It could show potential. They could have done so much better with it, but it was so bad. And so, the writer, he's thinking up names for, like, the book, so he calls it Brutus, so that's the main character instead of Bronco. And so he writes this whole book, he publishes it in a matter of a week. He writes the whole entire story in a week and has it published, and then all of a sudden, this one, like, Barnes & Noble thing is filled with the whole entire store is filled with these books.
Because that's how things happen?
Yeah, I did not know what was going on. And the main character, his voice, I don't know if this was, like, on purpose, but his voice cracks every single line he has. He's telling the girl, Sarah, that he's let his mom read some of his stories, but it just made her cry. He's like, my mom let me read some of her stories. It was literally the worst thing ever. He was the only good actor, and what I'm saying, he wasn't a good actor in it, so this movie was just shit.
He was just the best of...
He was the best out of every freaking... No, the bad guy was actually probably the best, with his annoying voice.
Yeah, what was the name of this movie again?
Gentlemen Broncos.
Oh, God.
It's made by the creator of Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre. I loved both of those films, but I did not like this one. Okay. Got it for $3 at an antique store. This movie is so bad.
Between negative stars and Better Time When Drunk, what would you rate this?
Dude.
If you had to give it a rating. You're a Rotten Tomato critic right now. He's not really, but I mean, just for the sake of this argument, if you're Rotten Tomatoes... I would literally
just give it a 1 star.
1.
1 star. But, okay.
That's 20% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, 1 star. Let's just keep going.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
You're going. You're on.
So, this movie is also getting made, and the movie comes out in theaters, and everybody hates it.
Oh, wait, this wasn't the end of the movie.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
No.
Oh, okay.
This movie's like almost 2.5.
We're still going.
This movie's almost 2 hours.
I thought the end was that he got his thing published. Oh.
This movie's almost 2 hours.
Okay, go. Yeah.
And so the bad guy gets the book published, and everybody is like, yeah, everybody loves it, even though it's a horrendous piece of shit. And then the teens, Lonnie and then Sarah, make the movie out of like a 3-person cast with this old camera that you can put like VHS tapes in it. And this thing I think was made in 2010. So you just know that it's bad. And then
Probably a budget issue.
yeah. Well, don't get me started about budget. Don't get me started about that. Because Paranormal Activity had a $15,000 budget only.
What?
And that movie was amazing. I literally, I was watching a review on it and it only had a $15,000 budget. And that first movie was amazing. So,
Yeah.
the kids put out the movie, and then the main character was going to be in the movie, but then he's like, you guys are doing awful on this. My story is okay, even though it wasn't. And so he runs out of the theater because he was his stomach hurt, and he threw up. This part almost made me throw up. He threw up, and then the girl Sarah, who likes him, comes running out, and she kisses him. Barf is all over his mouth, and she kisses him, and barf gets on her mouth, and she licks it, and she eats it. Me and my friend Jacob, when I was watching this, we almost threw up. We were like, ugh, it was awful.
I don't blame you.
It was awful. And then, so after that, Sarah and him go to a bookstore, and then this is where he finds out that the guys copied his idea. He's reading through the book, and he's like, this guy stole my idea. And then the next day, he goes to a signing of the book that the sci-fi writer, he's signing the book that he just wrote. And then he goes there, and then he's like, you stole my idea. And he's like, it was originally called the Yeast Lords, and then this one is called Brutus and Ballsack. It's so weird. This movie sucked. And so he goes to a signing of that, and then I think he punches, the main character punches the sci-fi guy in the face with a pillow, and it makes the sci-fi guy bleed.
Yeah.
I do not know how that worked. He has this little pillow of the main character, Brutus, and he smacks him in the face with the pillow, and it makes the guy bleed.
Like a voodoo doll.
It was just it cut off right here. So it was just his shoulders and then his face, and it was naked.
Yeah, it was like a voodoo doll.
And then, yeah.
Kind of.
So he smacks him in the face, and then he goes home, and he's depressed. Throughout the movie, this character, he is so sad. His life is awful. His mom is the girl the mom from American Pie. Stifler's mom.
Stifler's mom, yeah.
And
I know what you're talking about.
She is an awful character in this movie. She wants to pursue a fashion career, but she's making very bad stuff and making it so high price. She's making these blouses. The blouse. What are the things that the girls they use they wear in bed? I think it's a blouse or whatever it is. And so she's selling them, and it's $110 for just one of these blouses. It's so stupid. So the main character goes home, and then his mom gives him a present, and he found out that his mom actually sent all of his stories that he ever wrote off to a publisher, and so they were published, all of them. And then the sci-fi writer, I think his name was Paul. Paul's books are all of a sudden, there's just this montage of a guy's hand going like this, shoving all the books, throwing them on the ground, and then putting up Yeast Lords onto the shelves. And I think the main character also had his mom get to a fashion show, and that was the end of the movie. I've wanted to see this movie ever since I was 7 years old, because I've always wanted to be a writer, and now I want to be a movie director and / writer. And I've always wanted to see this movie because it's about a kid getting his writer's idea, his book idea, stolen. So I've always wanted to see this ever since I think I was 7. And then I finally watched it the other day. I thought it was awful.
All right.
Yep.
So you really
1
liked
star.
it? No. Okay, well, that'll wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Random thoughts with Isaac. All right.
The movie was awful.